Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone from different parts of the world who are attending this discussion today. Welcome to our series of discussion, One World, One Goal, Connecting for Climate Action. My name is Andres Varas, and I will be your moderator today. For future research purpose, this meeting will be recorded. The purpose of this series of discussions is to share awareness on climate change. Also, it's to get new insights and recommendations on what measures we can take and apply in our countries regarding the measures that we can learn from other countries today. We will also understand some issues related to climate change in different parts of the world, and also we will equip ourselves with the right tools to educate children and the future generations regarding this important matter. Now, considering the last aspect that I just mentioned, this program is in collaboration with an Indonesian program called Ngete Sore. Ngete Sore community aims to educate and help parents to raise their children in positive and also effective ways. Now, I would like to invite the founder of this program, Ngete Sore, so she can share with us some relevant experiences, and also she can explain a little bit more what is this program, what is the purpose of it, and what is the relationship with climate change. I would like to invite Mrs. Hassana Safrani. Welcome, Mr. Hassana.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andres. What about my voice? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, little dark here.
It's okay.
Okay, okay, dear colleagues, good evening. First of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. Andres for organizing this meeting. Also, I want to say thank you for all of the speakers here and participants who have joining this meeting. Let me introduce myself. I'm Yani. You can call me Yani or Hassana. It's okay. Hassana Safriani is my full name. As a representative from Ngeteh Sore community. Unfortunately, maybe some of our friends cannot join us this evening, but maybe I want to ask the recording of this discussion. I can share it to the community after this finish. Is it okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So what is Ngeteh Sore? Ngeteh Sore is a community consisting of parents who are concerned about good parenting for their children. They come from several areas in Indonesia and have various background. Ngeteh Sore was started in the pandemic area, and we see each other through the online discussion as a forum for sharing and strengthening between parents. There were so many topics have been discussed in Ngeteh Sore, especially that have relation to parenting and self-development for parents themselves. And climate change is one of our topics where we share about how to build children's awareness and also how to develop good habit from home. Because we believe that anticipating climate change can start from the very little community, that family. We are very glad to get a chance to collaborate with Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta in the community empowerment program. So we have the opportunity to take part in international discussion forum and have the opportunity to share our experience in anticipating climate change with the children in a published book. And in this occasion, we want to say thanks to Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta for the programs, and I want to appreciate the speakers and the participants here. I believe this discussion will be very useful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Yani. Yes, it will be beneficial for all of us. As Mrs. Yani said, this is our opportunity to learn all together on right measures that we can apply for making the world a better place for everyone. So as I previously mentioned before, this is the first discussion on a series of discussions, okay? The title for today is Navigating the Challenges of Droughts and Water Scarcity or Water Shortage. So we will analyze the perspective from different parts of the world related to this matter, from speakers that are capable and also knowledgeable in the area. So to get started, I would like to introduce you the first speaker for today's session. She is from a neighbor country from Indonesia, also from Southeast Asia, specifically from Myanmar. She is a master professional and she has worked on research and also she has experience in environmental policies. Her name is Maddi. Welcome, Maddi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So, Maddi, please, can you share your experience? How is the situation in Myanmar related to water shortage? Can you please explain us?
Yeah, sure. So actually, Myanmar is also facing like significant challenges related to drought and water scarcity. So our countries, the climate is influenced by the monsoon season. So it results in uneven distributions of rainfall across the region. So before that, okay, you need to know a little bit geographical information about the Myanmar. So in Myanmar, the middle part of Myanmar is called the dry zone. So the areas of dry zone is actually like 10% of the total area of Myanmar. So and approximately 35% of the cultivable land is located in that dry zone. So you can imagine that how hard it is for farmer to be in that dry zone. So the village communities usually like they act out living growing like by growing the peanuts and sesame. But like we can see like the climate change very clearly in recent years. Like the farmers in Myanmar say like 30 years ago, it was like quite different from now. Like they had sufficient rains and natural ponds for water. But in this year, the farmers say that the last time that they got good rains for their farm is like it was in 2017. And at farmers, they say that there were like 7 villages in their regions and only 2 villages get that good rain. And also like it has been like very long time that they can harvest like 2 times a year. They can only harvest 1 time a year. So that's why like the people in that kind of dry zone, they had to buy water with the like 1,000 Myanmar jet. That is like $0.7 for 1 cut. So for the farmers, like normal village household, it is like a lot. So they cannot do that anymore. So like usually women and girls, they have to fetch the water from far away places, like 2 or 3 kilometers away from them. And even then they cannot get clean water. So that is like one part of the story. And on the contrary, in the southern part of Myanmar, like Yangon and Taninai, they don't have water scarcity. So the problem is that it is not an urgent topic for them. Like if you ask someone from Yangon, like, do you think like there is droughts in Myanmar? Like, or do you know about the water crisis in Myanmar? They will say like, I don't think so. Like maybe like this. So that is the current situation in.
That's very interesting, Maddi. No way. Uh, we can see that there is clearly an issue related to droughts and water shortage there in Myanmar. So now, is there any measure that the country is taking in order to prevent or maybe to reduce this risk in Myanmar?
Yeah, of course. So in response to that escalating the water scarcity, so Myanmar governments and some local organizations, they have like various measures. Although they are not working very well. So the first one is like water resource management. So they implement the integrated water resource management for the water availability, like storage and distribution, particularly during the periods of drought. Like usually the hottest months of the year, like April and May. So for that time, like they store the water, and also like when they distribute the water for distribution in this time of water, they store it. And also we have like rainwater harvesting, water conservation awareness. They have like a lot, but the thing is, they are so weak. Like the weakest plan is like about the afforestation and reforestation, like encouraging tree planting initiatives. This is like just for sure, because our country, we export the timber and trees a lot, so we cannot like reforest enough. So that is like, okay, very weak as plan. And also for the research and innovation, they are weak. So they need to upgrade the forecasting and warning system for the drought management. And also, that is the solution from the government side. For the local people side, the local people always choose, like they have to choose for their living. So what happened to the local people in this dry zone is that they just leave the farming, and like they have to migrate for work. So that's became a key coping strategy for them. So they just leave the farming and move to the big city or foreign, like Thailand, Malaysia, China, like that. And for also the people living in the cities, their coping strategy is that they just dig well by themselves. In there, like when they have a yacht, they just dig well. So another problems comes that the ground level of Yangon and other big cities, they became low. So we can see that one, we cannot solve a problem in a wise way. It like the consequences became like another problem.
Yes, Maddi, quite agree with that. So we can say that Myanmar is probably intending or trying to take measures on it, but the measures are actually not very well applied for
Yeah, sure.
different reasons.
Mhm.
Very interesting. Now, the main question for you, Maddi, and related to this discussion in general, is based on your professional experience, based on your studies, in your research. I would like to know what recommendations can you share with all of us in order to try to prevent this issue, try to avoid the issue of water shortage in whether in individual way or as society.
So for the, I want to talk like for two main parts. So the first one is the household level, and another one is for the government level. So for the household level, there are like so many things we can do, like water conservation. Like you can encourage the household to adopt water saving practices, such as like fixing the leaks whenever like they have like some mistake in there, like fix the leaks as soon as possible using water efficient appliances and practicing mindful water usage like that. And also about the rainwater harvesting. So in our country, the rainwater harvesting is like, they are very useful. So in our home, usually my father, they whenever there is rain, he always like store the rainwater, the clean rainwater. And also he only use it for his tea. And also like Burmese people, they believe that if we make the tea with the rainwater, clean rainwater, it is like more, what is that called? Healthy. They think so. So that is like a kind of rainwater harvesting. And also water recycling. Water recycling is like, it is kind of very easy for us. Like when we are washing our hands or something, we will save the water that came out from our washing hands with some soap or some things, and then like we use it, we will put it in the toilet, like the toilet storage. So when we flush down, the toilet will use this water, that water recycling like that. And also we need to encourage like educations and awareness to the household, the importance of water conservation and the impact individual actions on the overall water ecosystem. So that is the household. But however, we need to recognize that only 8% of the fresh waters are used by household. Like 70% go to the agricultural sector and 22% go for the industry. So the thing is, if we want to solve this issue globally, the policy and regulation, they are very important. So government need to do the infrastructure development, like invest more in water infrastructure development, like reservoirs, dams, or water distribution system to improve the water availability during the dry periods. And also for the companies who are profiting from this water, like they have to do more CSR program. Like they say that, okay, investor interest more in water companies, so they have to do more CSR program and capacity building, and also like cross-sectoral collaborations between the governments and the company to make it like to tackle the water scarcity challenges collectively. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your very valuable insights, Maddi. There is no doubt that, as you said, this task is not only for us personally, but it's for everyone. All of us has to strive together to try to improve our future for all of us. Thank you very much, Maddi. We really appreciate it. Now, I would like to invite the second speaker. He is from a little further, especially uh, he is from Central Asia. He is an international student and he has enough experience also in environmental courses. He has taken several in that kind. He is from Yemen and his name is Muhammad Tareq. So I would like to invite Tareq, please. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andres. I would like to share the screen if can,
Yes.
but I think cannot.
I already allowed you, so
Yeah, I got it. That.
Mhm.
Okay. I will talk about the droughts in Yemen and about my real experience in this section.
Mhm.
So also I can call it like my suffering and also my village and people in my village and my city and some city in Yemen. We suffering a lot from this. Water shortage and droughts because we are country in the Middle East. Half of our country is desert. Maybe the raining, the half of the country they get one time raining only. The others have, which north of Yemen, we got some raining in summer. The most city get raining in Yemen is like my city, but we have the migratory population. Almost we are 6 million, and we have another city like 7 million near to us, and the capital city in Yemen, which have like 4 million people. Those three cities actually they are threatened by drought. But in my area, for example, we was this. If you see this mountain in the second photo, villages on the top of the mountains. This is how my area look, and the house is like on the top of mountains because my city all mountains. In the edge of this mountains around everywhere before like until 2002 we have water. When I was a children, I follow my mom, I follow my brother, we play in the water. We have water here and there in every direction, and the life was amazing there. We like this that how it's my city, call it the green city. Water in everywhere, and that water is very clean and healthy for us to drink. But after that also we have in our area we agricultural trees in the mountain. We just grow like corn, some beans. Like the life was amazing. Water, we don't have water to the home, just we bring the water using by hand, but by donkeys or camel. But it's near we have in our village. In everywhere we have the people have their animals, like they can drink water. Also this is like how the water we have, because we didn't have in my city a river. We have like water like that available, like water rain flow, the water of flow. Also if you see the photo down, this is the photo for down al Sahal Valley. This is the valley which is like surrounded all the mountain. Is very big valley, and everywhere almost around it, surrounded all that area. This valley actually it was before they have like coffee and corn. They grew coffee and corn, but after that they changed the coffee to and corn, and they grew alqat. If you see this tree, they call it alqat. This cat is actually forbidden to grow it in every in most countries. In Middle East, only Yemen which grew this tree. This tree need a lot of water, and no benefit from this tree. Actually, it's use it as it's something like drugs. So the people they get a lot of money and make business, and this actually coffee, like they take the coffee tree which have the benefit and put this like grow this tree. When they start to grow this tree, like randomly drinking of water, like wells, like they like dig attrition wells randomly and in violation of the law. In this valley, which is under our mountains, under the village, like they start to take water using that big machine, and like even against the law. In the law, you cannot like make one beside the other. Like at least you need to have between one and another like 6 kilometers. But because the people who make this business, they use this as a business to watering that alqat tree to get a lot of money. They have like power in government. They have their power. Also, they are tribe leaders. Most of people who make that project just to watering this tree. They like dig or make this their project like beside each other, and they make it like working every day. So the like which led to the through draw of the water from our areas. And suddenly after just 1 year and a half, they make almost seven of they dig like seven wells randomly. This the water in our area suddenly disappear, and the people and we starting to like suffering from water. We cannot imagine, we cannot find water to drink, we cannot find water to wash our clothes, we cannot find water for our animals to drink. We cannot like find water in our area. Several villages started to suffering from that. So we starting to go to far away, almost 7 kilometers. When I was a child, 10 years, 12 years, I will go 12 kilometers to bring water using donkeys. And at night, because the water in the morning, the people in that village, they will take the water in the morning. You cannot come, you come at night. At night, the people will fighting who can get water. The strong people can get water. The people like in my areas, after that, the people in my area starting to leave the village, starting to leave their homes, starting to leave their land, their lovely land. So even the people stop like building new house. Even one room, they stop building room because like the disappointed, this land became not available for life. Imagine at that time a lot of people, especially the rich people who able to live, they leave our area, and just the poor people, they stay there fighting fighting and facing the death every day, facing the death. We're starting like even to hit the life there. Imagine I was like thinking like when I get the water like almost 80 liter water every day, I'm starting to thinking, what could I get this water tomorrow or not? The people imagine they was just taking shower only 1 day a week. The life like became miserable. After that, we didn't see any action from our government. There is no action. The action is zero. The people like starting to build dam, and we every home like buy like a lot of and make like water tanks. After that also after like the people start to pushing the government, and after the businessmen like collect money, and they make project for water only for drinks, but they bring the water from so far area, like using pipe to our villages now, and the lights start to come again, and the people who leave the area, they come back. But actually this solution, it's I think it cannot like stay into for future. We need like a real solution to take off this tree, to stop the people who like dig wells randomly, and like near each other. So if they not like stop, if they not like take off this tree, So this problem like will be more, and also there is now several problem in a lot of areas, like besides us now, where I can see it like in TV, in news, like how many like especially now after war, million of people like cannot get like clean water to drink. I think for our solution, what I see the solution there is like to make like a mini dam to take the street off, to make law for the people who like dig like wells, because the like this walls like near each other, and using like a strong machine to take the water is like it's like cost a lot of problem, because it's always in the down of the mountain, and in the mountains we have village, so the water like disappear from that's mountains. That's all. If you have any question, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Tareq, for all your explanation related to Yemen, to the situation of Yemen. Now you can stop sharing screen. Yes. Well, as we can see in the situation of Yemen now, it's quite complicated actually, especially for internal policies. So we can see that in every country, the situations can be different, but there are still problems related to it. So the measures to take has to be different. Now, as Tareq mentioned at the end of his presentation, if you have questions related to it, please, you can tap your questions in the chat box, or you can also raise your virtual hand at the end of all the speakers finish. All your questions or even recommendations in order to improve something related to this issue of climate change will be very well appreciated. Now, our last speaker, to go a little bit further, is from Central America. She is also a master professional who has participated in several environmental courses. So she also has enough experience on the matter. So I would like to introduce all of you to Brenda. She is from Panama, and I would like to welcome Brenda now. Brenda, can you hear me? There is probably a difficulty in the connection with Brenda. So we are going to go directly to the discussion session with all of you. Okay, so we have discovered the situation in two different countries today, which is the case of Myanmar and also the case of Yemen. We were also going to show the case of Panama, but it seems like it is not possible today. If you can join, Brenda.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, don't worry. All right. How are you, Brenda?
I'm good. I'm doing good right now. Excited to talk about drought, especially in the Panama context.
Yes, please. We would like to know, how is the situation there?
Right now, Panama is currently going through the worst drought in 70 years. So not doing good, not doing good. The government currently is like trying to fix the situation. Especially the government is concerned about the Panama Canal, because that's how Panama heavily relies on their economy. So they're reducing the amount of like traffic that goes through the canal. But like the other concerns are the agricultural like side of things. The agriculture realm is trying to ask for like funds to the government, but currently there's not have been funds released to it because the drought hasn't like come to worse. Well, like especially to the government to be concerned about the agricultural aspect. But yeah, that's the situation right now currently happening in Panama.
That's very interesting, Brenda. It's a different situation respecting the other countries, but still we can see a problem there. We can see the issue. So, what is exactly the measures that Panama is trying to take now in order to reduce this issue?
Yeah, like I mentioned, the government currently is trying to reduce the amount of like the water that is being used, especially like we have two artificial lakes that currently provide like water to population, or like in the case of like the Panama Canal. So if it heavily relies on the on those two like artificial lakes, although it's not like a permanent measure, because like they're currently going through some difficulties because of the extended like drought. Other measures are like trying in the future to, which is not an immediate measure at all, it's like in the long term like measure, like fixing or like trying to better the infrastructure of the situation. Because I believe like the numbers according to a study is like 92% of like water like heavily relies on infrastructure. So yeah, that's another measure that Panama has been trying to look into it.
Oh, thank you very much, Brenda, for your insights. Now, last question, Brenda. In your experience, I know that you have participated in several environmental courses. So I would like to know which recommendation can you give for people in different parts of the world to have this awareness, to take care on this matter?
Uh,
Please.
I know it's a difficult topic to reach like across in a multi-dimensional sense, because like all the other cultures are very different, like from Latin America. But like Maddi mentioned before, I think like literacy is one of the key solvents of like in this aspect of like household aspect, like not throwing stuff into the toilet, because that's like a heavily cultural aspect, like I think a lot of Latin American like countries do, and other as well, like trying to educate communities and also empowering communities, because like the government usually is not heavily interested in like individual communities. They're heavily interested in like the overall wellness of the country. So empowering communities to like try to fight for themselves, and like also to like fight for like the overall wellness of others too. Because as we well know, taking care of others also helps in the overall wellness of the country. So I think those two key aspects are like important. Look, infrastructure is the one that heavily impacts like water, is like something that is a lot bigger, like a bigger topic that needs to be reached with the government, not necessarily like an household aspect. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your really valuable insights, Brenda. We really appreciate it, because we are all trying to fight together in this situation, because it's something that affects all of us around the world. We really appreciate your insights and your comments, as well as the ones from Maddi and Tareq. Now it's the opportunity to all of you to ask questions related to it. You can ask directly to one of the participants, or even you can give recommendations in order to improve this all together. So please feel free and don't hesitate to do so. You can type your questions in the chat box or raise your virtual hand, everybody. Yes, Brenda, please.
I want to know specifically how personally everyone has tried to, in a way, impact the topic of like water in their everyday lives, or like it could be like a bigger sense. But yeah, personally, how you guys try to approach this subject. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Brenda. I would like to ask Maddi first to reply this question, how she does this in Myanmar and her usual life, please. Maddi.
So in Myanmar, like our household, like my family, they are like kind of responsible. Like they always teach me like how to use the water, like not in a careless way, or the electricity. So like when we are younger, like we used to put in our toilet, there's a toilet the storage, right? So in there, like we used to put like 2 liters of water. Like 2 liters of water means that with the water bottle, you will put like 2 liters and then close and then put it there. So whenever like you have already flushed down and the water raised again in the toilet storage, so it won't raise like too much. Like if one flush down use like 5 liters of water, if you put the weight of 2 liter, then it will only get you like 2.5 liters or 3 liter. Then next time when you flush it down, like okay, it will only use 3 liters of water like that. And as I have mentioned before, like our family, they use that they harvest the rainwater. We always store the rainwater like every rainy season. So that next time, like in Yangon, there is like one problem is that the government want to try to control the distribution of water in April or May. So at that time, like they don't give too much water to every household. So at that time, it is necessary for us to store the rainwater. So we have to store the rainwater, use this in some not in the cooking, but just for like some cleaning outside or something like that. So we use that kind of water. So that is my daily life, and I am still using this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maddi. Also, if everyone in the audience want to give your own situation on how you are doing to take care of water, please, you can raise your hand to reply Brenda's question. I can also say from my personal experience in Spain, for example, some people usually brush their teeth with the tap water running. So there is a lot of water that we waste for no reason. Yes. So one measure that my parents taught me since child, it was always to close the tap water while brushing our teeth because it's unnecessary waste. Only until then, when we want to directly wash, or even for example, when we are in the shower, me since child, but it is not necessary to have the water running when we are with the soap, because that part is usually the longest in the shower, and we are wasting water that we can use only at the end to only finally clean up and take off or remove the soap of the body wash, for example. Those are two measures that I usually apply in my everyday life that I learned from my parents. I don't know if anybody else wants to comment something. All right, we have a question here. Is there a waste management system in Myanmar and Spain impacts on other areas of life, for example, improving the local economy? Okay, to reply this question, I would like to ask Maddi about it, but also I would like to mention that the next week, during the second discussion, we will mainly focus on waste management and pollution. So we will learn more about that, also in the perspective of different speakers from around the world. But for this time, I would like to ask Maddi, please, if she has any knowledge on this area.
So actually in Myanmar, we have a system called like the waste bank. So that the thing is we have like we don't have a lot of recycling industry or anything. So we mostly in Myanmar, like we rely on the informal waste collector, like the scavengers. So all the waste management, they are like 80% of the waste that came from them. So the thing is like we have to provide for them that okay, how to be like more safe in their work life. And also like in Myanmar, like there is like so full of waste, what is it? The waste mountain that we call, like in Indonesia, we also have like the waste mountain, and sometimes like people, the scavengers or the informal waste collector, they live there. So it is like kind of a village on the top of the waste mountain. So sometimes there are like collapse of this waste and people die there. So the thing is like the government, they usually try to manage that. Like they give them the places to move there for the waste scavengers, and also like educating them how to do their work like more safely, and also giving them like places to sell their products. I mean, sell their products in the waste. So it is kind of like also enhancing the local community, and also like kind of a waste management. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maddi. Very interesting also measure to strive against waste management. We have another solution here in the chat box to try pumping water from the ground. Yes, that is actually another solution. To try to get clean water that we can apply from the audience.
Maybe I can for the water, like how manage water. I can like give my comment like as a solution what we good raining or some raining in summer. So we have like we make many like almost 5 water tanks. So we collect water in summer. This tank is actually so big, it will be enough for us because we're suffering from water in winter. So this tank can be more enough for us to for cooking, for cleaning, for taking shower. So and winter in the winter, we will use it in the winter. So we will fill it from water in the summer, because our home like different than a Spanish. The roof is like that, but our home is like square. So it's easier for the water to go to the tank. As well, as you said before, when we take shower there, we're not using like the running to take shower. We're using like just normal, like not that much amount of money of water to take the shower.
Thank you very much, Tareq. We really appreciate also those suggestions and comments. Well, in conclusion, about backgrounds, how we can apply the right or effective measures in order to reduce this impact on climate change, and also specifically on water shortage. We have to remember that we are all part of this world, and everyone has a part in taking these measures. We really appreciate your questions and your participation. Thank you very much to all the speakers today and also to the audience. And I would like to cordially invite you to the second part of this discussion, which will be held next week, and it will be related to waste management and pollution. With this, I would like to thank everyone and end this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes. Have a good day or good night, everyone.